What's up, y'all? Eli Berg 2 times here, back with another banger video. And the Dallas Cowgirls, dumbasses, the Dallas Cowboys. Let me make it clear, I don't have anything against the Dallas Cowgirls. I have things against the Dallas Cowgirls fans. They really think Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I'm about to prove to y'all why he is not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And he's not worth $45 million. And if you don't know, Dak Prescott's trying to get the biggest contract out of any quarterback and get paid $45 million a year. These are the quarterbacks I'd put above Dak Prescott. Number 1, obviously Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Russell Wilson. Number 4, Deshaun Watson. And number 5, Drew Brees. Those are 5 quarterbacks I'd put over Dak Prescott. And I haven't even mentioned Aaron Rodgers or Ben Roethlisberger in this upcoming season. Or Matt Ryan. Shit, there's a lot of quarterbacks I'd put over Dak. You could even debatably argue that Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. If you haven't realized by now, Dallas Cowgirls fans are one of the most delusional fan bases in all of sports. And now let's analyze Dak Prescott's last 2 seasons and show you the reasons why I don't think he is a top 5 quarterback in the league or worth $45 million a year. In Dak Prescott's 2018 season, he had 3,885 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions to go along with a 96.9 passer rating. So that's a really game manager type year. And if you think that year is worth $45 million, you are ridiculous. If that year is worth $45 million, why didn't Alex Smith get paid fucking $90 million a year? This is a Alex Smith type season. No disrespect to Alex Smith. He played on my 49ers. But he put up Alex Smith numbers and then has one decent year and asked for $45 million. Actually, no, I believe after this year, he was starting to ask for like $30 million, $40 million, just throwing out ridiculous numbers, and he was not even a top 10 quarterback that year. Okay, so I'm going to give you a game-by-game analysis of how he played against playoff teams that year. So in week 3, they played the Seattle Seahawks, and they lost 24-13. Dak Prescott on 34 attempts, 19 completions, only had 168 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for a 54.5 passer rating. Then the next week, they lost in overtime against the Houston Texans, where Dak had 29 attempts, 18 completions, 208 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions with a 66 passer rating. Then they played their division rival in the Eagles. They won 27-20. Dak Prescott's stats are 36 attempts, 26 completions, 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 102 passer rating. But he didn't even outperform Carson Wentz, who lost. And he had 44 attempts, 32 completions, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception with even higher passer rating. Carson Wentz played better than Dak, and this game was won on the back of Ezekiel Elliott, might I add. So far, he is 1-2 against playoff teams in 2018. And then they played the next playoff team, which was the New Orleans Saints, which were 10-1. They won 13-10. That was surprising. I remember this week. Dak Prescott had a game manager type game. 28 attempts, 24 completions, 249 yards, 1 passing touchdown. So that's more of a game manager type game, but I'll give him credit. He did win against the New Orleans Saints. And then they played another playoff team in the Philadelphia Eagles. I will give Dak huge props for this big win. It was 29-23 win, and Dak Prescott had 455 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with 104.9 passer rating. Then in the playoffs, Dak Prescott got his one and only playoff win, 24-22 against the Seattle Seahawks. I'll admit, most of this game was won on the back of Ezekiel Elliott, but Dak Prescott's stats go 33 attempts, 22 completions, 226 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, 83 passer rating. The passer rating's good, but he did not win this by himself. He definitely got carried by Ezekiel Elliott. This is more of another game-managing type game from Dak Prescott. But that's the end of the 2018 season because they lose to the LA Rams the next week in the divisional round. Dak Prescott's stats against playoff teams in the 2018 season was 9 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He had 9 of his 22 touchdowns against playoff team and 7 of his 8 interceptions against playoff teams. So I don't want to ride a fake narrative, but I really don't think Dak Prescott shows up against good teams. In the base stats of this recent season, 2019, says this is Dak Prescott's greatest season with 4,751 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. So the Dallas Cowboys start off 3-0 this season. But do you want to hear the teams they played? The New York Giants, the Washington Redskins, and the Miami Dolphins. And I remember all on Instagram and Twitter, Cowboys fans were like, "We them boys." No, dumbasses, you played some of the worst teams in the NFL if those aren't the bottom 3 teams. And then after these 3 games, they played a serious team, the New Orleans Saints. They lost 12-10. It was a sloppy game all around, but Dak Prescott's stats were 33 attempts, 22 completions, 223 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So yeah, that was his first experience playing a real fucking team that year. And then the next week, they played a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Cowboys fans, Dak Prescott had 44 attempts, 27 completions, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions for a 24-34 loss to the Green Bay Packers. God, I love Cowboys fans. Okay, so they don't play a playoff team at all. They play the New York Jets and lose 24-22. Dak Prescott didn't do shit in this game either. He had 278 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Y'all lost to the fucking Jets. But hey, Dallas Cowboys fans, y'all bounced back against the Eagles. I wouldn't be happy about winning against the Eagles for long to put you at number 1 for your division. Just saying, week 17. But Dak Prescott's stats were 27 attempts, 21 completions, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. Dak Prescott had a decent game, I'll admit. And then y'all play the Minnesota Vikings. The Cowboys lost 24-28. Dak Prescott had a good game, I'll admit. He had 46 attempts, 26 completions, 397 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That's a pretty solid game, Dak. And then the next playoff team you play, y'all play the New England Patriots with old-ass Tom Brady, and y'all lose 13-9. Y'all lost 13-9. You could not get a single touchdown on this New England defense. Dak Prescott's stats were 33 attempts, 19 completions, 212 yards, and 1 interception. I just love seeing Cowboys fail because their fans are so annoying, you know? It just brings joy to my heart seeing them lose. And then the Cowboys' next playoff team they played were the Buffalo Bills. They lost 15-26. Dak Prescott had a good game, 49 attempts, 32 completions, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception with a 91.8 pass rating. So Dak Prescott had a pretty damn good game. And then in the game that determines if the Cowboys get into the playoffs, they lose against the Philadelphia Eagles with all their injuries, 17-9. Dak Prescott had 44 attempts, 25 completions, 265 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, and they missed the playoffs that year. Okay, we talk about Kirk Cousins losing big games. Dak Prescott was 1-5 against playoff teams this year and threw 7 of his 30 touchdowns against playoff teams and 7 interceptions against playoff teams as well. So Dak Prescott is not a top 5 quarterback. He might not even be a top 8 quarterback. He does not show up in big games. And you might make the excuse he doesn't have a supporting cast. No, he had Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper. He had a supporting cast. I don't think Dak is worth 45 mil. He might be worth around 29 to 30 mil a year. Because Mahomes can win in big games. Wilson has proved he can win in big games. Watson has proved he can win in big games. Wentz can win in big games. Matt Ryan, you know. And also Drew Brees can win in big games. Aaron Rodgers can win in big games. Dak Prescott is 1-5 against playoff teams in the regular season for 2019. That is horrendous. And guess what? 23 of his passing touchdowns came against non-playoff teams. And for a final F you to every single Dallas Cowboys fan, just roll the clip.
Throws it in the end zone all alone. Terrell Owens, touchdown, San Francisco. And Owens draws more boos by standing in the middle of the blue star and looking heavenward and spreading his arms. Emmett Smith. And boy, is he fired up. Look at him run. Look at him bring the football. He's going to do what Owens did. Right into the middle of the star, puts the football down and spikes it, and that got the crowd juiced. Blitz on from the 1. And they throw a fade right side of the end zone for Owens. He got both feet in. Touchdown catch over the shoulder. Here we go. They're going to have a big fight. There goes Owens. Puts it down. And George Teague levels it.
Here it goes.
And now Teague is aimed at.